www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264, VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Bamakore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Shettima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
All right, hello, it's about that shaking the man fine back with Melanie Poppy Black Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know what you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weight. Bye.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers boy ever live. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Jenny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
We are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
It's a beautiful Friday morning, and I welcome you to VOP this morning. I am Moses Humphrey. Now it's newspaper review, so where we make sense of the headlines. And Chukwuma Okoro very much with me in the building. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Moses.
And also Dele Fanimo is right here. Good morning.
Good morning, Moses.
All right, then. So now let's dive into it. We do have The Guardian, The Punch, Nigerian Tribune, and a few other dailies that we will be touching on. We'll be taking the headlines from these dailies this morning. And particularly, we'd like to start from the Nigerian Tribune. The big story here is on the 2027 election. Says, waiting game persists as Senate delays Electoral Act bill, defers action till Tuesday, raises mini committee to distill senators' views, reps step down consideration of outstanding clauses. That, of course, is the big story on the cover page of Nigerian Tribune. So, Mr. Fanimo, what's your reaction to this headline?
Well,
we've had civil society groups, a few of them, protest the passage of the electoral, the review of the Electoral Act. They want it done now. Now.
You see, for a body that has been showcasing some level of inept attitude to their responsibility. All eyes are on the Senate on this particular assignment. And they know that if they falter, the outcry and possible backlash may also affect their fortune. So now they need to really do a thorough job. And it's like a soldier that has never gone to war. If he's faced with war at one time, he might just run away from the war front. So these people, the only thing they know how to do and do fast is when they want to promulgate a law that suits them. And don't forget that... Like pass the budget. And don't forget that this particular assignment is like a double-edged sword. It may consume some of them if it is passed the way Nigerians want it passed. And they are also looking at a way of escaping such booby trap. So it's a dicey situation for them, but we are closing in on them and watching them closely to be sure.
Who are we? Nigerians?
Nigerians. We're watching them. It's just unfortunate that the CSOs are not as active as it used to be. Otherwise, the plenary session should be monitored by the CSOs, and daily reports should be given to Nigerians through the media. And the media has a role to play in this. If third-term agenda could be scuttled as a result of the deviance of the then AIT, then we should also be ready for whatever game these people want to play at this point in time, because this will determine our future. It will also assist us in electing those we feel can do the job, not people that are imposed on Nigerians. So it's a very, very crucial exercise that we cannot toy with.
I understand this is not question and answer, but let me just ask you, what's likely to happen if this is delayed and then passed, say, towards passed in December 2026?
There will be distractions.
There will be distractions.
If it is delayed, there will be distractions. And it will be hurriedly passed to the extent that those salient points that should have been included in the amendment may be glossed over, and they will have a way of explaining it away. That in the course of stampede and rush, that they missed out a particular clause that should have been amended. So we have I think about 7-8 months before proper campaign starts. So we should do it now. Before June, we should have a clean copy of the amended Electoral Act.
All right. Well, you talked about what's your take on this one? What's your take on this?
Okay. Now, what you and Dele are saying, is that, I want to create an analogy. The policeman that stays at the checkpoint, to collect toll, 10 naira, 50 white and 100 naira and 200 naira, depending on the severity of your offense. Maybe sometimes if you look at him somehow, you have committed an offense. Now you want him to go back to the divisional police station to sign a document that says, tomorrow I will not go to the checkpoint. That is it. You people want senators to go and
You're sounding like it's a hopeless situation that we are in.
It is already sounding like a pessimist. Because I've already
like a pessimist, and it's breaking my heart.
No, it shouldn't break your heart, because I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimist, but I'm a realist.
You're a realist.
I'm a realist.
I know you like to say that.
Yeah, I'm a realist in this, because I know that there's always, a constant invisible to an extent, because we don't come out in the open to shove, push and shove. But that conflict is always there between the we and them. And nobody wants to easily move out of his comfort zone. People don't normally do that. You understand that some of these people, they know how they got into office. So what you are telling them is, the way I got into office, like Heradua said, the process that brought me was flawed, eminently flawed.
Now you want these people to go and sign something that will shut the door against them in 2027. They will not do that. They will not do that. We've been going back and forth, and we'll continue going this back and forth. At the end of the day, they said that the committee has been set up to distill their views. But I know that distill is to water down, except my English is failing me at this point, or to separate, mix, more like a mixture of and separation of components. That is what I understand. So when that committee comes up now with their recommendations, it is going to be watered down to the extent that there are escape routes, where they can easily maneuver. And I keep saying that, look, the electoral law is not our problem. Our problem is the character of people that are in places of responsibility to handle all of this. And I keep going back to June 12, 1993. The Electoral Act we had, the only Electoral Act we had then was option A4. You queue behind Dele and Dele queues behind Moses. And that was how we gathered results all over the country. And they said, by last account, they say it is the best, the freest and fairest, election that we have had in this country. So the Electoral Act that we are talking about, it's going to be a numbo jumbo. All this hula ballo with time will just end. And we'll see something that the president will just look at it and sign. And after the president has signed it, we'll start debating it again. By the time we finish debating, we have conducted elections and we move on. So that is what is going to happen. Not as if I don't want the letters, to be tight, foolproof, so that if you just do something, we'll capture you and say, look, you didn't pass this election. I want all of that, but is it going to happen? That's the debate. Is it going to happen?
All right. Barrister Asim Adams joins the conversation. He's a constitutional lawyer. And I have hope that your analysis of this will give me some sort of reprieve and, give me hope that, yes.
Away from what Chukuma said.
Away from what Mr. Okoro has said. Talk to us. Go ahead.
That's right. Thank you, Moses, my brother. I think we are going to discuss the amendment, but it's unfortunate that Lalong, another game which I cannot understand, he ought to be, he's the chairman of the committee that should have, I don't know why he has decided to, whether he's abdicating his responsibility assigned. We want, also have what they call credible elections in Nigeria. Number one is this, Section 27. They are introducing Section 27, sub 5 to 7 of the Electoral Act. That is, they want to amend it. What does that mean? Is that 185 days before the election, that is when elections should be conducted. So if we look at from this amended, 2025 Electoral Act, if it scales through and the president consent to it, we may be seeing elections taking place in November of every year or every election year.
Okay.
No longer February.
Okay.
You understand? And you now have 6 months between that November to the swearing in on a Democracy Day for you to adjudicate, you go to court, finish all the matters that pertain to your election to the Supreme Court.
Before swearing in.
So what this particular, before swearing in. So, and this is for only governors and the presidents. Okay. You understand?
Yes.
The House of Assembly candidates are, winners are not included, but president and the governors. So 185 days before election, time. So we may be seeing elections taking place before swearing in. I mean, you may be seeing elections taking place in November, like I said. This is a novel. This is what we have been trying to, ask for. And if that is altered, it then means that Section 285 of the 1999 Constitution also has to be amended. That talks about the time limit for appeals for elections, etc., as the case may be, to accommodate this new, rule of 185 days before swearing in. So that is a novel. The second one is there is what we call submission of all political parties must submit the list of their candidates 210 days before, any election year. Before now it's 90 days. You have about 60 or so days to submit. But they have extended to 210 days. So that is almost a year before the election. All the candidates of the election their list must be submitted. This is also to obviate the serious issues of candidacy. You see, parties have been going to court. After their primaries, they begin to go to court to say candidate A was not the person that the primaries or was elected to the primaries. They now go to court, like what happened in Plateau State. They now go to court, and before you know what is going on, a man who believed he won the primaries will go ahead and contest election, and at the end of the day, about swearing in, Supreme Court will come with one judgment that he was not the rightful candidate for that particular election. So that has been taken care of now, by, this section in the amendment. Then there is another novel instrument of the PVC is no longer compulsory. That is, it's not mandatory for you to use the PVC. Mm-hmm. You understand? Yes, you can use your name, you can use whatever that is verifiable, as it is, because they found out that the PVC, most of the PVCs were not readable by the beavers machines, thereby disenfranchising a lot of people. That is why you find out that when the PVC fails, it becomes a problem for them to accredit you to vote, because they'll say the PVC has failed. You understand? I mean, the beavers machine has failed. Yes, has failed, and you can't vote because you have not been accredited. But in this case now, we are going to be seeing NIN, ETC, and whatever can be used in the place of that. That's another novel, act. Now, if I still have time, I will just run it down. Section 10, sub 2C. Yes, then that section 10, sub 2C is that, all voters now must, if I want to register and get my PVC, mind you, let me put it very straight. This particular section does not abolish the use of PVC. It does not abolish the PVCs are still going to be used.
But then you can use.
But where there is a problem, other means of to vote, as case may be. Then to register now as a voter to get your PVC, you must have to include your NIN. Your NIN, you must get your NIN number. Your NIN number must now be used as part of the registration formalities. Before now, long before NIN came out, a lot of people collected their PVCs without you imputing your NIN number. But now it is a mandatory requirement if this particular whatever goes through. Then section 12, sub 1D, and section 12, sub 2 to 1, is advocating for prisoners, those who are in prison, even awaiting trial inmates. Before now, they have been disenfranchised. They cannot vote from prison. But now, it is now, mandatory that the INEC should make, available provisions for them to participate. That's right, to vote as well. Then you have section 44, which talks about mandatory early, voting. You don't need to wait. Once everything has arrived, even if it arrives by 6 a.m. and you have everybody in the polling unit, you start voting immediately. You understand? So early voting is now encouraged. Then you have section 60, section 60 sub 5. This is where the crucial and the gravamen of this amendment is all about. Why you see P2B has been clamoring to say, please pass this amendment into law. Section 60 sub 5 is saying that electronic transmission of votes is now mandatory. It's no longer at the whims and caprices of the presiding officer. The Supreme Court heard that the presiding officer is at a discretion or liberty to either transmit now or later, as the case may be. It is no longer like that. If you vote, after voting, the results must be transmitted electronically. No excuses. those states that are being either as the case may be. I think are very key and important. Yes. But in a memo our group sent to them, even when they were doing that public hearing, we are surprised that they did not talk about it. Section 135, 36, and Section 138 of the Electoral Act. For instance, these sections, because of time, I will just run a summary. The first one section is that you are the one to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the elections were not free and fair. So if I lose an election now, I will be the one to prove that the elections were not free and fair. We were advocating that it should be the burden on INEC's neck or shoulders to prove that the election they conducted was free and fair, not the reverse. That is one part. The second part is Section 138 or so, the moment being sworn in, etc., as the case may be, you now begin to eat. Assume that particular this does not come into force. You now begin to meet. So, 138, the other section 10 is coming into force. That says 285 days and 185 days before election. So you better delete Section 138 of the Electoral Act that says that you can be in office while your matter is pending in court. And that whatever you embezzle, if you steal state money or federation money for the period you are in office illegally, that nobody will hold you accountable if your elections were nullified as a governor. So what that means is that if I have been sworn in to be governor of my state, Edo State, and at the end of the day, Supreme Court now said, no, I was not supposed to be the valid governor voted in there. And I've embezzled about $1.2 billion for that period I was in office before I was removed. That I will not account for that $1.2 billion. That particular section 138 should be removed. Since this other section is coming in to modify it. So these are just the key points we have seen in that whatever. It's a November one.
With the crop of politicians that we have, do you see this seeing the light of day?
It will be difficult because from what Lalong has done now, it will be difficult because Lalong, for no just cause, I know he's going to hide under the cubicle, that under our constitution, the maximum or minimum days he is supposed to be at the National Assembly is just about 131 days. Insofar as he has fulfilled that, he has no impediment to being absent from duty. But we are asking that in a very crucial time, a very important time like this, that we need this amended Electoral Act to be in force. Why abdicate? Why run away without even giving us an excuse? So it is a ploy by politicians to frustrate this particular amendment. That is what we are saying. And like you rightly said, even as it is, he may get to the president's table, he refuses to assent. Because certainly, if he assents to this is going to be a novel, and it's going to affect him, his efforts. You understand the point? So these are the things. They might frustrate it. They might filibuster it. They might filibuster it in the National Assembly before it even gets to the third reading, as the case may be. And I believe that is one of the moves that Lalong is doing right now, that is running away from moving forward with the amendment.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
I'm happy that Barrister Adams ended where I started.
I'm not happy.
You are not happy.
But see, the onus really is on the people and civil societies to put pressure. Can we put pressure?
Yes, we can.
On government to ensure that, look, even if it gets to the president's table, the president will have no other choice but to do the bidding of the people by signing.
We can, but the question is, do we have the staying power? Can we push through all of this? Yes, we have. We can as a people. We easily get tired. We run out easily. And like when people say we run out easily because poverty has been weaponized. I say no. It's not because poverty has been weaponized, because poverty itself should even be a driver. You know, if you are hungry today, I know what people do. People that are hungry today, I know what they do so that they don't stay hungry till next week. But our own, since we are hungry today, and we just relax as a people and say, oh, well, all hope is lost. Poverty has been weaponized, and we accept it. And we just do talk show, and go. But in other climes, the poverty that we see will propel and drive people into action. That's the difference between us and other people. 1/3 of the things that happen here can't happen in the Middle East countries, and even in North Africa. Every place will go up in flames. But because we are very resilient people, that is how we comfort ourselves. We are very resilient, you know, and instead of saying we are docile, we say we are resilient. We say, okay, let's try tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be better. And that tomorrow
I think the government understands the
all of that.
The
Politicians
psyche of the
know
people.
this, and they use it against us at every turn.
In fact, I was reading up on a story this morning about those that went to protest the protest the demolition. Some that were caught were taken to court, and they've been asked to pay what's this thing called now? Bail to the tune of about 200,000 naira. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, first they are complaining displacement. They are complaining about the fact that their roofs were taken, and now they have to cough out 200,000 naira to build themselves.
But they're not paying. It's just a surety that if they run away.
If they run away.
Bills
and
bail,
things like that
bonds
tend to make the people feel, you will now find parents saying, must you go out to protest? Must you go out? Why don't you just stay? Is it only you? So everybody else sits back because everybody else is trying to protect their own. And government officials have their way. They have a field day because people will not speak with one voice against the actions of those in authority. It's appalling. But that's what we are faced with. All right, gentlemen, let's move on to another story now. Yes, that story was taken from the... Parisa, you want to say something? Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yes, okay, Moses, thank you for the opportunity. If I wanted to talk about the arrest of the protesters,
okay,
you understand, by the police, and they are charging them to court, the Lagos State Police Command should understand that protest, is part of our constitutional rights. Then when you now begin to say that they were singing abusive songs, where is that? Where is there any law that says that if you sing an abusive song to somebody, then that becomes a crime or an offense? It means you are going to arrest the whole of Dugbe Market women. It means that the whole of the market in Lagos Island, all of them will be in jail by now. You understand? Now look at what they did. Now they said that they were singing this song to provoke. What is provocation? I want to ask the question, what is provocation? What are the ingredients of provocation to a reasonable man? That you now begin to say that as a public officer, that you were provoked by my mere singing of songs. What kind of democracy is this? I have seen situations where eggs were used to splatter on cars of police and public officers abroad. I've seen situations where somebody from the crowd slapped a President Macron in France.
I think we have allowed this. Sorry to interrupt you. I think we have allowed this because when Idris Abdul Karim came out with the song Nigeria Jaga Jaga, Obasanjo at the time, confronted him with words. I didn't want to say that. No. But he confronted him with words.
So what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is it is part of our culture and customs that when you are driving on the road, somebody will curse you and say your father, you understand, sorry, open and close. Some drivers can even on the traffic. So it's part of us. Then we just laugh over it and go. Yeah. So why should a public officer should be a man that has restraint and patience and tolerance. I've seen situations where you see protesters even pointing at the police officer and taunting him.
Yes, absolutely.
He doesn't get provoked. So
yes.
If just singing of songs can provoke you, it means that if I insult you, you can even shoot me as a police officer because you are provoked. So the court must not allow this to happen. I'm so bitter this morning I'm not in Lagos. The court must not allow this to happen. They should release those people and let them go to their houses. What is the essence of even asking them to pay money for their bail for whatever reason? These are things the lawyers there should take up and go and free those protesters who were unduly arrested, as the case may be. So sad. And I feel so bad that I'm not even around that area right now.
It's hard indeed. We need you back in Lagos, please. Please, come back.
I will soon be there. I will soon be there.
When I told him that I'm missing him, he didn't know the import of my missing him.
I will soon be there. I will soon be there.
Let's take some other headlines here. I'm just going to read out the headlines and we can pick the ones that we want to react to. So we have 4 leaders set for strategic decision as recapitalization. 4 lenders, I beg your pardon, I take that one again. 4 lenders set for strategic decision as recapitalization deadline approaches. We will create more institutions to make Oyo greater. Makinde. Borno governor orders direct payment of LG allocations. And opposition alliance will chase APC out in 2027. Buba Galadima says opposition ready to queue behind most popular candidate. Kano governor must submit NNPP's mandate before defection, he says. And we also have Naira on recovery spree strengthens against major currencies. Rivers, APC discussing with Wike to resolve impasse. Basiru, National Secretary. And also we have this headline, FCT workers appeal industrial court ruling, resume strike. We are still in court, obey ruling, Wike tells workers. And Wike also said, look, there's an article I read yesterday night. It was like, look, he really cannot be bothered. If you like, get all the civil servants in the world. And, well, Barrister, what's your reaction to the headlines taken?
Yes.
I would like particularly to the Wike story.
The one in Rivers State that interest, let me start with that of Rivers State.
Okay.
If you read the headline, Bashir has recanted. He has said the recent narrative, I've seen that going around, where he has said that Wike is an important or integral part of the renewed hope agenda of whatever, of the president. Mind you, this has been where the problem has been. Yes, Wike has never said he's a member of APC. Wike has never said that he belongs to APC, but he said that in Rivers State, there's what we call rainbow coalition of all the political parties, APC, PDP, and some other political parties who have one agenda to, make sure that President Tinubu, gets another 4-year term by 2027. So he said he was a leader of that particular renewed hope, agenda that has that coalition. And that there's no political party in Rivers State. Not that there are no political party physically existing, but when it comes to the principles and the agenda of making sure that Tinubu, come the next election and win it, that there's no political party, that they are all one. I think Bashiru misunderstood what Wike was trying to say. So at the end of the day, he now found out that truly he was misled. And that was why he had to recant. And he recanted, he now, formally, did what was right to now say that Wike is the leader of the renewed hope agenda in Rivers State. Renewed hope agenda, even Simple Fubara said, that is a part of the renewed hope agenda. All his supporters, both ex-governors of Rivers State, said they are supporting him and they are supporting the renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu. So which means they belong to the Rainbow Coalition, as the case may be. So that solves that. I think that issue of 001 and whatever should not be laid to rest. And the issue of whether Wike will be exiting or sacked or is having problem with APC has to be arrested right now. With events going on. Even yesterday, Hope Uzodinma was very clear to say so he does not really think that the state is right for Congress of APC right now. These are statements of a yes, a week of this world. That is for that. The other area I want to look at, the FCT strike. A lot of people think when cast in the FCT, whatever, there is a war between Wike and them. Wike is just a minister. The FCT is an agency of government. Wike will live there one day. But the FCT remains.
Now,
so it is how you people go about it because...
Sorry to butt in. One of the complaints of the protesters is the fact that directors' tenure are being elongated. And that is preventing others to rise to positions that is ordinarily due onto them. And they've asked, and they said, okay, look, it will stop. But then they saw that 3 months after, they saw another director, a few more, their tenures were elongated. That's part of the complaints that they're having.
Now, look at what I feel should have been done. You see, when you feel your right has been breached. See, Nigerians, I don't know exactly, we say we are practicing democracy, but at times we practice autocracy or mobocracy. Let me tell you why. The courts are there. If I feel that I work in a place and like what they said that directors, etc. has given, I run to court to restrain the FCT as it may be from carrying out with such a whatever. Not me, you as the case may be. Why can't they go to court? Is it not court they went to now to appeal, the ruling gotten by FCTA in the National Industrial Court? And the clarity must be that because a lot of Nigerians have been misinformed. What they filed, they only appealed it, and they filed a motion for stay of execution. Has that motion for stay of execution been granted? It has not been granted. So if the Court of Appeal has not granted that stay of execution of that particular order of the industrial court, and you say you want to continue your strike, how legal and feasible is that? These are the questions we should be profiling and asking. But people don't want to know because the person involved there is a yes or wiki. But let me tell you, if the workers are able to get their way, is that whosoever that is coming to that particular ministry, people must know that there is no holder of that particular office that has not had problem. Everybody became, a billion because he was FCT, FCDA minister, as case may be. But at the end of the day, it's going to be like that. Okay. The crux of this matter, let me just put it very straight, is because the people, if you listen to the chants of the workers, most of the chants of those workers was that this is their land. The Gwaris, who form majority of the people who work in FCDA, believe that that particular ministry belongs to them. And they are not happy that a non-Northerner in the person of Yeso Wike has come in there as the first Southern FCDA minister. So you have ethnicity behind some of these things there. And Wike has said this has been what has been in that FCDA, that he inherited the system. So why are they now? Is it now that they want to visit the sins of his predecessor on him? These are questions left unanswered, as the case may be. But I believe that one day, very soon, we'll get to know.
All right, then. But another question I want to ask is how much of this will affect the president's re-election in Abuja? He lost Abuja the first time. He lost the FCT the first time.
APC lost.
APC.
Oh, he lost.
He lost under APC.
Jonathan lost Abuja too. Buhari lost Abuja. The Abuja electorate, not Abuja per se, but that Aso Villa polling unit. Presidents normally don't win it. I don't know why. Dating back to Jonathan, in 2015, Jonathan lost it. In 2023, in 2015, in 19, Buhari lost it. In 2023, Jonathan lost it. Tinubu lost it. So there is something about that Aso Villa unit. And So, but
I think what is there. Yes, Miss Okoro, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. I can hear you.
The reason is this: Abuja, you don't need to even win Abuja for you to become president. The only problem associated with Abuja is that for you to become president, you have to win 25% of all of that 36 states and Abuja. You know, this is what has created the problem that has made the FCT look as if it's a very important, unit that you must win. You know, this created a lot of furore during the time of the Supreme Court, judgment. That Tinubu did not win 25% of the votes in Abuja. You can lose the vote as a president, but score up to 25. The interpretation of Section 299 of the 1999 Constitution that says that if you have won 25% in 2/3 of 36 states and Abuja, so many people were interpreting it to mean that once you win 2/3 of 36 states, you must also win 2/3 of
Abuja.
FCT for you to become a president. But the Supreme Court came and resolved this and said, no, 2/3 is 2/3. That the moment you're able to win 2/3 and you are not able to get 2/3 in Abuja, that you have won 2/3 of the states. And now interpreted Section 299 to say that Abuja should be regarded as one of the states of the federation. Invariably, what that judgment is now saying is that we are now having 37 states when it comes to election matters. And you have to win if you're able to win 2/3 of 37, those who are mathematically inclined, if you calculate 2/3 of 37, you know the figure you are able to get. So if you're able to get like 20 states or 21 states, even if you don't score 25% in Abuja, you have gotten 2/3 as required by the Constitution for you to be in Nigeria. So finally, Abuja is not that important that you must win. That is why President.
All right. But Barrister Adams, I think you approached it from a different angle. That was exactly not what I was even talking about. I was talking about, the pattern that has become normal, that presidents normally don't win the Aso Rock Villa, the Aso Villa polling units and polling booths and all of that. But that's it. Talking about talking about what you said. Well, I think the Supreme Court, that was their decision on that matter. And a lot of people still believe, including eminent lawyers, believe that judgment was political as far as, and the operational word there was, is it 25 2/3 of the 36 states and Abuja or with Abuja? So that interpretation of and with, became a legal conundrum. And the Supreme Court interpreted it the way it suited them. But I want us to move away from that.
That is what we are saying.
Yes, I want to go to River State, where the jigsaw, the political jigsaw in River State is trying to untangle as it were now, unaided by anybody, but by the factors themselves. Like what Basiru, he said is Oshunma, his name is Basiru, said. He has made a recant and all of that. A lot of people address the Rivers issue with a lot of emotions and sentiment, So, and when it is played up, people begin to, take sides based on how their emotions and their biases drive them. I've always maintained that the mistake Sim Fubara made was to have started fighting Wike in his first term. 1 year, less than 1 year into the life of his administration. That was a very big mistake. And now, Wike was very smart to say, you have not even, the fight has not even started and you're already shooting. Because he started shooting very early. And this is what we see now. Now, everybody clearly understands that Wike, is the leader. Members of the House of Assembly that went to, say, look, let us shoot our swords. There were the same set of people that said, look, Wike is the political leader of Rivers State, and that is what it is. He cannot be in control of the 27 or 31 legislators. He cannot be in control of the 23 local government areas. He cannot be in control of the party apparatus. That is talking about the APC, not even the PDP in Rivers State. And you say governor is 001. Governor is 001 for the optics. For the optics, it's 001. But who is in control of the structure? Still the FCT minister. That is one thing people need to realize. Fubara would have been able to, reverse all of that if he was underground building his own political structure. I go back to Abia State in 1999. You know what happened? Ojozo became governor, and a lot of people aided his ascendancy, his ascension to office. He said, this person said, give me commissioner, he gave. This person give me this, he gave. This person give me this. He gave everybody, and everybody went home satisfied. In less than 1 year, he started reversing all those appointments and all of that, and now putting his own key people. By the time those people realized what was going, he had gone far, he had taken the rug off their feet. He was now in complete and total control of the structure. That was why it was possible for him that even when his chief of staff, T.A. Ojo, was in prison, he won an election. And T.A. was smart too. When he came back, he didn't start fighting immediately until he got a second term. At that point, there was nothing the governor could do. But this man was quick in getting into the fight, and it has consumed him. He has to work extra hard. Fubara has to work extra hard 10 times to get back to government house in 2027. That is the way I feel. That's what I see.
You know the problem, Mr. Okoro, you've spoken very well. You've spoken very well. This is my own take also. It's just that I want to echo what you said. You have spoken, my line of thought. Now, let me add to what you have said. The issue of 001 is subjective. You are the 001 of APC, according to them. You are not the 001 of PDP. These are different political parties. But nobody is, struggling with you to say that you are the 001 of APC. That is your own take. It's your political party. But can you say that you are the 001 of PDP, of all the political parties in Rivers State? I don't think so. Because PDP have their own leader. Now, I want us to differentiate 001 as governor in terms of governance and 001 as political leader. 001 as governor in terms of governance. Then 001 as a political leader. I will give you examples. In Oyo State, Lamidi Adedibu was 001 political leader. That the governor, who is 001 governor CTC, must bow to him, must come to him. If you don't cooperate with him, you will not have good governance in your state. In Kwara State, Bukola Saraki was 001 as political leader, not 001 as governor. If you don't work with him, it's your own business. In Edo State, my state, Tony Aneni was 001 political leader. He was even in 001 political leader, which the governor comes under. Tony Aneni cannot talk, and the governor says a different thing. That is how it has been in Nigeria. So you are 001 governor. Nobody is dragging that with you. But when it comes to politics, you are not 001. That is what we are saying. The man that is 001 is your political leader. In this case, Yeso Wike. Now, let me tell you something. Even if Yeso Wike were not to be a politician, or maybe were not to be a minister, if President Tinubu were to visit Rivers State, and Wike and Sim Fubara were working hand in hand, no quarrels, Tinubu must visit Wike in his house after visiting the governor. There are times he may even visit the political leader first before visiting the governor, because he knows the political weight of the political leader, which is 001. So these are the things that I've tried to make people to understand. That the Rivers problem, there is no problem there. It's just that Orina crisis people, those who want problem will go and give false permission and create what we're having today. Right. And I'm happy that Fubara is learning the hard way now. You saw the statement he made to one of your sister stations to now say that the president told him not to do anything and allow those two candidates who are, the faction of Yeso Wike to go ahead and win that primaries. He was the one that said it. And that was the reason why he obeyed. So that tells you that in these past days, things are swinging in the favor of Yeso Wike as the political leader of Rivers State. He has not made much noise about it, but those who don't want him, the enemies, who are Wike's enemies, who are now new friends, the Ahitophels, I've said this before that Fubara has too many Ahitophels in his government. They advise him and mislead him, just like Ahitophel in the Bible misled David and Absalom, the son.
I know you as a constitutional lawyer. I didn't know you as a clergy
the cabinet
or a Bible student. I didn't know you as a Bible student.
You understand? And you saw, yes, you saw, but you saw the advice that was given by Ahitophel.
Oh, yes.
You saw that it was cataclysmic.
Oh, yes.
You saw that he led to cataclysmic results.
But
the same thing happened in Rivers State today.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Let's give Delifanimo 1 minute to react to the stories, and then we'll wrap up this conversation.
From the first time this crisis broke out, I've always said, I am not an apostle of betrayal. Fubara betrayed Wike, regardless of whatever Wike is doing now, aftermath of that betrayal. So if he's consumed by this, the result of this betrayal, I don't have sympathy for him.
We're not even looking at the fact that one leaves office and tries to control governance in a state.
Then
how that affects democracy.
You should have resisted it.
Democracy.
You should have resisted it, not that you just play along.
If he had resisted, somebody else would have accepted.
And
then we'll still have this going.
It will remain who he is.
So it's not even about the people.
Politics is not about people in Nigeria. Politics is about self.
What's democracy, please?
You know what? As Ivor Jennings said, I always go back. We say that people cannot decide. The people cannot decide until someone decides who the people are.
Who the people are. But please, can somebody just remind us of the elementary definition of democracy? Government of who?
I like the word you use, a definition. There's a difference between definition and practice.
Practice.
Oh, well. This would be a good place to anchor this conversation. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Delifanimo, veteran reporter, Chukwuma Okoro. Also, he'll be back here later tonight at 6 p.m. on Political Lens. And also, Barrister Asim Adams. Thank you very much for your contribution
Thank you.
on the program. Chukwuma, what do we expect later tonight?
I'll return with Dr. Peter Aonosike, and we'll travel around Nigeria to bring you interesting political stories.
All right, there you have it, 6 p.m. Don't miss it. By the way, 11 o'clock is time for sports. I am Moses Humphrey, wishing you a beautiful Friday. Bye for now.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue